Danny White sitting in there.
Yeah, look at him.
Danny White.
He's great. Brewer, you're expecting a bounce-back game from Lamar here.
I am. I think this is going to be a tough one. I think the Chargers are good, but I'm expecting a bounce back. I'm not expecting like a 4-touchdown, because I think it's going to be a big Derrick Henry game.
Ooh.
I think Lamar will play great and win, because we know Lamar teams that aren't used to him struggle with him. Overall, we know, he's got a 73% win percentage. NFC is 23-1, 96%. AFC North, 19-12. That's 61%. All other teams, 46-16, 80%. So I think teams that aren't familiar with him are going to have a tough time with him.
Can I throw a wrench in that? Just because
The Chiefs?
This might be my upset alert. The Chargers are just chock full of former Ravens players and coordinators. So I think they are pretty familiar with Lamar.
That's a good point. But I still think Lamar is going to play well against him. But I think it's a Derrick Henry game, because I think they go out there ready to. Henry hasn't had 70 yards in the last 2 games, not combined in each game. So I think, and all the criticism, I think they're going to go out there thinking, let's establish Henry and get him going. So I think Lamar will play well, but I think Henry will be the big key.
Listen, I think Lamar 100% will have a bounce back game. I think Lamar will be great. And this is a Monday night game. Tuesday, it'll be, did Lamar get back in the MVP conversation? And we'll get on that same hamster wheel. I don't think this will be a huge Derrick Henry game. I think Jim Harbaugh is going, the whole culture he has established and is trying to establish with the Chargers is they are the bullies. They are the bigger, tougher, more physical team. I think they are going to sell out to stop Derrick Henry. It's going to fall on Lamar's shoulders, and this is the exact type of game Lamar absolutely cooks. So I think Lamar will be excellent in this game, and I think the Ravens will win because of it. And so, this is, and by the way, I'm very happy. I don't know if you were on Breakfast Ball for this segment, but I'm no longer the Lamar Jackson public enemy #1. Not since Danny Parkins this morning didn't have Lamar in his top 5 quarterbacks and had Justin Herbert 3 in the league.
Yeah, he did.
It went Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. A day after he compared him to Peyton Manning. So all those Ravens people that be DMing to Wilds, you go after Danny, not me. Burrow was 4, Matt Stafford was 5. I think
enough with the Stafford. My gosh.
Some people like Super Bowls. But regardless, listen, I think Lamar will be excellent. Did you say Jaquaski Tartt?
Jaquaski
This guy. I think Lamar will be excellent, and the one spot I think you can. The Chargers defense has been great this year, averaging 15 points per game.
Excellent.
But I think over the top you can get them. And I think the Ravens' speed at the receiver position could hurt them in this game.
Yeah, so I do think he bounces back, but I'm with Brew on this. I don't necessarily think it's a big Derrick Henry game. I just think that they won't abandon the run. They will stick with it and allow him to be a part of what they're doing to open things up for Lamar. But Lamar is going to throw the ball around on the Chargers. That's their weakest spot in the secondary, and that's where obviously John Harbaugh and this offense, that's what they want to do. They want to throw the ball down the field, get the ball into their playmakers' hands. So I think
don't
Lamar
you think there is gonna the Ravens, for good or for bad, sometimes really do have narrative-based game plans.
Yes,
and they're up against a team that Greg Roman is now with. And Lamar was not sad to see Greg Roman go, and it's like Todd Monken's
they are
gonna
very
let
much
me,
the narrative.
right, it wasn't going to let me show I can be a passer. I feel like this is a game where Lamar's going to be a passer, and by the way, I think he's going to be good at it.
So there you go, Nick Wright actually saying that Lamar is going to become a passer in this game against the Chargers, and he actually thinks he's going to do well. We do hear Nick Wright ripping Lamar Jackson a lot, but he's actually picking Lamar to have a pretty good game against the Chargers here. Both teams are pretty similar record-wise. The Ravens have 4 losses, the Chargers have 3. Both teams with 7 wins this year, so, pretty evenly matched when it comes to the records. But, when you kind of look at the offense and you look at the defensive statistics, it's really a big difference here. So right now, Baltimore is still way out ahead of everyone with 4,731 yards this season. So they are 400 yards above Detroit. The Lions are the second best team in the NFL offensively when it comes to how many yards they rack up. So, Baltimore is still way out and in front of all teams this year when you just straight up look at yards when it comes to the offense, and they're up there too, 30.4 points per game for Baltimore. So you really see this very strong offensive team, passing 2,781 yards for Lamar Jackson. And on the ground, they're not too shabby either, 1,950 yards rushing, some of that being Lamar Jackson as well because he's that dual threat quarterback. So, the offense here is heavy for Baltimore. If you kind of look at who's the better offense, coming into this game. I mean, the Chargers, total yards for the season, they're down at 3,264. I mean, that is like 1,500 yards less than the Ravens. So, offensively, big advantage here for Baltimore. Chargers only averaging 22 points a game. So huge difference there, like an 8-point per game difference between the offenses here of the Chargers and the Ravens. But something that's going to make it interesting here is defensively, the Chargers are very stingy when it comes to defense. They're only giving up 14.5 points per game, which is really nuts. If you kind of look at defensively, the Chargers have only given up 3,171 yards on the season. So, defensively here, Chargers are by far and away the much better team here. They've only given up 2,066 yards passing and only 1,100 yards rushing. So, if you kind of look at a bunch of the other teams in the NFL, they're giving up way more yards rushing. Chargers are definitely near the top when you just kind of look at how many rushing yards do they give up and then also the passing yards. Now, there are some better defenses out there like the Eagles, like the Titans, surprisingly, even the Jets that give up way less passing yards. But, defensively here, the Chargers only giving up 14.5 points per game. This is going to be really interesting. You're going to have this high-powered Ravens offense come up against this high-powered Chargers defense. We're going to see who wins. Can Lamar elevate his team, elevate his play, and overcome this really, really good Chargers defense? Or, are the Chargers going to kind of take control of this game? Are they just going to limit Lamar Jackson, limit his running ability, limit his big explosive pass plays? Is the defense going to win out in this game? So let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this, and I will talk to you soon.